just hoping to get home, go to the refrigerator, pull something out, put something in the microwave, maybe watch some TV or something like that, and just get a little bit alive. And otherwise, life is a little bit of a struggle, with the six senses, including the mind. So we come to this point where a spiritual life, and if we get the beautiful answers that we are deserving, as a human being, we are naturally prone to question. And if we're lucky and fortunate, is there such a thing as luck? Tell me.
No.
I hear no. Do I hear yes? There is a yes here. We might have to meet in the back alley. Okay, so it's about fortune. It's about being blessed and receiving good vibrations from above. And all this transformation that could take place from sadness to joy, from a struggle to being relaxed and calm, can change, and that can come about by being exposed to the personality of Godhead's pastimes. Okay, one of my favorite verses from the Bhagavad Gita is chapter 17, text 16. And it addresses a question that a lot of people throw at us. And that question is, how do I control my mind? Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Even when chanting japa? Okay. So, chapter 7 looks at divisions of faith. And it looks at how we can approach life through the three channels, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And if we're really interested in evolving spiritually, then we may look to this verse for some guidance. And Krishna's indicating that one should take up the austerity of the mind. What is the austerity of the mind? What's the action that you take? What's the karma that you do to see that this can be a reality? And that is, you have to distance yourself from sense gratification. And we all have sense gratification that we're attached to. We all come from different backgrounds, karma. There's Hollywood, Bollywood, Schmollywood, and we're all just familiarized with a certain kind of, the type of sense gratification, and it lingers with us, even after you take up the practice of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada really gives practically every sentence in that purport, 1716, is very illuminating. And first of all, he says, withdraw from the sense objects. Now, that doesn't mean you can't enjoy. You can enjoy, but it has to be somewhere or other. The enjoyment has to be Krishna-centric, and it's possible. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada also talks about the messages, not just messages, but also pastimes of the Lord. He talks about, go to the Puranas, go to the Mahabharata, go to the epical tales that are very enlightening. There's lively stories there, aren't they? It was beautiful to hear about, Sita being kidnapped, or seemingly, that's another story in itself. And Ram went heroically to try to find her, and others came to assist him, a vulture, a monkey, a bear, and a few of the other. And these are creatures that talk. They actually speak, so they communicate really well. Those were the days, I guess, when animals could talk to you, right? So lively stories. The Mahabharata in itself, and all the multiple pastimes that we find in the Bhagavatam are there for our, let's say, redemption from this world and from our troubles and miseries in life. So some beautiful hints are there. 1716, I'm emphasizing 3 times. I hope it's yours. You own it now. Look at that. And that's how I answer people. I say when they ask, how do I control my mind, especially during japa or at this time, that time, whenever. And I just say, check out 1716, and that might help you out. And of course, I'll take some time personally to give some, let's say, suggestions what to do to make their life a little more edifying. Yes, so these string of verses are meant for all. They were first delivered by a sage and heard from other sages. And are we sages? I look around the room, and here we are. We're here for a spiritual purpose, right? We're here to sing, to dance, and sweat it out, like I said earlier on. And we're here for that intent, to get better, to get clean, and make ourselves eligible for a better world, maybe to get out of this one altogether. Yes, so it's good to reflect on these things, and Srila Prabhupada had it in mind to put these verses out there. And when he was on the Jaladuta, he wrote a beautiful poem or song, which was reflective. By the way, you see pictures of the Jaladuta, and that Prabhupada sailed on. That iconic photo, that was taken in the harbor in Vancouver. Did you know that? Yes, it is. We did someone. Yay, Canada. Okay. All right. Prabhupada came to America first with these messages. It's no different. And he helped us. I don't know where we would be if we didn't make that contact. You have to reflect on that. Now, I received my second initiation in 1974. I know I seem old, and I am old. And it was by Bhaktimarg, the farm, and Prabhupada was giving the talk. It was Vrindaban Swami who did the Havan. And Prabhupada gave the talk to go along with it. And he said something that is something to reflect on. He said, think about what you were doing before and where you are now. And what that should do is instill in you a sense of gratitude. For one. Many other sentiments or sensations should come out of that reflection. And so gratitude is definitely one of them, and count your blessings, and just don't go back. But look back. You have to do that once in a while. You have to see what was there before in order to make some sense of where you are now. The distance is amazing. Okay? Self-reflection is a good thing. On the first walk that I did across Canada, I was up by Lake Superior. Anybody know that lake up there? That beautiful lake. And I was with a godbrother, and we'd be chanting japa for a long distance, let's see, how much did we walk in those days? This is 25. Oh, it was up there, 45 miles. And I remember reflecting sometimes on the things that irked me, the things that bothered me. You know how when you're chanting japa, you're trying to be clean about everything, but something comes to haunt you. You step into the past, and something really bothers you. So I remember specifically, it happened to me and to my godbrother, and he suddenly started pacing. We would be going at the same pace, and suddenly he'd start picking up pace. I was like, Guru, what are you doing? What's going on? Why are you going so fast? Oh, because I'm angry about something. and I had those same kind of feelings, where I felt, and we all feel like we are being mistreated by someone somewhere. There was injustice and unfairness. I think we've all gone through that type of thing in the past. How many people can relate to that? Arms up. Yeah. Arms up. Right hand. Left hand, if you want a double. Right leg. Okay. So we all remember these things. And, the stepping into the past, we suggest don't live in the past so much. And also be mindful not to live so much into the future either. Don't be too passionate. But reflect a little bit on what's going on right now. If I can apply the word reflection to now. Being very much in the present, here and now. Okay. And I'll tell you one last story about the first walk, and then pass over the microphone. You could do your conclusion. Great. Yeah, so I was just finishing my first walk across the country, and it was almost 7.5 months of walking. And I was near the end on the East Coast. I traveled from the West Coast to Newfoundland in that direction, getting close to Prabhupada, because it was the centenary of Prabhupada. He would be 100 years old. So I started from the West Coast and I was going to the East Coast. So I was near the end, and I came to the city of Halifax. And somebody from the CBC came, that's Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's a good one when you get those people from that. That's the best. Intellectual people, people in their 50s, jazz listeners, follow that, okay? And so then the woman came with one of those tape recorders, if you remember those old relics. And she asked me all the right questions, okay? Also, you're walking, and when did you start this walk? And I gave her the date, and what's it for? Why are you doing this? For the spiritual healing of the nation. And she, a whole bunch of questions. How many pairs of shoes have you worn? I said, I'm on my 4th pair. Oh, really? Like people don't know about this. Then she asked the final question. So now that you're almost finished the walk, what was the most amazing thing that you experienced on the walk? So you're me, okay? And I'm her. And I went like, she went like this. And I did exactly what you did. I didn't know how to answer. So how am I going to answer that one? Because a lot of things happened along the way. I got attacked in 7 places on the backside by wasps. And I was dealing with the call of nature, in nature. It's kind of embarrassing. And a whole bunch of other things. The different people I met, real characters from time to time. And I didn't know what to say, so I just went blank. And if there was any music that would go to this, my blankness, or my stage fright, whatever you want to call it. My answer was, oh wait, I know the greatest thing that happened on this walk. You're standing there in front of me, and you're asking me this question, and I'm trying to figure out the answer. And that's the greatest thing that happened on this walk. And she said, oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like being in the present, living for the moment. It's kind of like that. So that's where devotees have to spend a little time, being very much in the present. That's where you get your best japa in. That's when you get your best services in. And as Prabhupada simply pay attention to details while you're at something. Just be there at that time, and you'll find you'll do a better job at whatever you do for Krishna. Hare Krishna.
We'll sing this bhajan in a moment, and I'd like to ask Srila Prabhu to set up, who's going to lead us. Srila Prabhupada said there are essentially 3 steps towards becoming fully Krishna conscious. The first is to know the philosophy. So we hear classes, we read the books, we talk with devotees, and we learn from hearing it. The second stage is what? Anyone know? Practice. To practice the philosophy, to live what we have learned. And that is a stage where it's like abhidheya, that the application is there. And finally, there is teaching, to share the philosophy. So these 3 stages are likened to business dealings. Say 2 businessmen are meeting, and one has product to sell and one wants to buy. So they establish the relationship of some bundle. And then there's a transaction, That's when actual application takes place, that's Avideya. And then the fruit of the transaction is profit. So we're all at different stages in our Krishna conscious development, but the ultimate stage that we learned from Srila Prabhupada is the stage of Jiva Doy, or wanting to share Krishna consciousness with other people. We can't force that, but that is ultimately what we want to achieve. Because this brings us very close to Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Nachatas men manuseshu kaschan maya priya kritima. That of all the devotees, one who shares the message of Bhagavad Gita and teaches it is especially dear to me. Srila Prabhupada is the exemplary personality, the acharya of this Jiva Doy. And it's only by his compassion and his effort that we are here today. So in your mind, imagine for a moment. I mean, it's hard for you all to imagine, most of you imagine being 70. But at 70, we can tell you that generally the mood is, let me kind of step back from the heavy responsibilities of life. Let me focus on the things that I truly enjoy. My capacity is slowly diminishing, physically, mentally. So let me, therefore, be very focused on the important things. But Srila Prabhupada was, as we know, taking that, at that stage of his life, the most bold and fearless move you could imagine. Imagine going to a country where you have never been before. Imagine you have never been out of your native country, but you're going to a totally new place, but where you don't know anybody. You have only a very fragile means of support, and you are trying to introduce something that you are pretty certain nobody's going to want. And yet, this is the order you've been given by your guru, and so just on that, we're going. This is Srila Prabhupada. So when he arrived in Boston, rather, he disembarked briefly and got a chance to see North America up close and personal. And then he went back and wrote this bhajan, this poem, this prayer, this meditation, which is so very instructive to us who are trying through our efforts in Krishna consciousness to come to this point of Jiva Doy, of mercy to others. So he wrote in the Bengali language, his native language. How many here speak Bengali? Some small fraction, just very few people speak. So this is why we want to try to present this same mood in a way that we English speakers can understand more readily. So Nitai Gauranga is also a fluent Bengali speaker. He's going to sing the Bengali slokas. So we'll hear Prabhupada's voice, and then all of us will respond in English. Is that all right? Okay.
কৃপা কইলে কৃষ্ণ অধমের প্রতি কি লাগিয়া নীলে হেথা করয়ে বেগতি আছে কিছু কার্য তব এই অনুমানে নাহে কেন আনিবে না এই উগ্রস্থানে গজস্তম গুণেরা সবাই আচ্ছন্ন বাসুদেব কথা রুচি নহে সে প্রসন্ন তবে যদি তব কৃপা হয়ে অহেতুকি সকলি সম্ভব ভাবে বুঝালে তারা বুঝে সেই রস এত কৃপা কর প্রভু করি নিজ বশ তব ইচ্ছা হয় যদি তাদের উদ্ধার বুঝিব নিশ্চয়ই তবে কথা সে তোমার কি করে বুঝাব কথা বড় সেই চাহি শুদ্র আমি দিনহীন কোন শক্তি নাই অথচ এনেছ প্রভু কথা বলিবারে যে তোমার ইচ্ছা প্রভু করো এইবারে অখিল জগৎ গুরু বচন সে আমার অলঙ্কৃত করিবার ক্ষমতা তোমার তব কৃপা হইলে মোর কথা শুদ্ধ হবে শুনিয়া সবার শোক দুঃখ যে ঘুচিবে আনিয়াছ যদি প্রভু আমারে নাচতে নাচাও নাচাও প্রভু নাচাও সে মতে নাচাও কালি নাচাও সে মতে ভক্তি নাহি বেগ নাহি নামে খুব দর ভক্তি বেদান্ত নামে বে সার্থক করো Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Those who were here yesterday morning heard Rasika Shiromani who will give a beautiful class about dependence on Krishna. How in our spiritual growth we come to that point of more and more just relying on the Lord. So putting ourselves in a position to help others is the biggest risk. It's a risk just to be chanting, isn't it? Just to be chanting and practicing Krishna consciousness. You may lose some friends, you may lose some family members, your net worth may go down a little. big risk to go out, for example, to distribute books or to go to a program and share Krishna consciousness with people. All these things entail the possibility of being disliked or being rejected. And that risk is what really accelerates our spiritual growth. And again, we can only just admire Srila Prabhupada with amazement how he could do that. So Srila Prabhupada had nothing. We have so many advantages. We have resources, we have facilities, we have experience, and most of all, we have each other. But we also have disadvantages in this challenge of introducing or continuing Prabhupada's mission. We have baggage, we have deviations, we have management struggles. It is still a challenge, in spite of all that Prabhupada has given us, in spite of all that Prabhupada has done for us. We have the struggle of imbalanced congregations and reaching people beyond the ordinary purview of those who are acquainted and respectful and appreciative of Sanatana Dharma is a huge challenge. So to take up this challenge doesn't require any particular qualification other than the desire to share Krishna consciousness. Doesn't matter your age, your gender, your educational level, your background, none of that matters. All that matters is the desire to reach people and to share Krishna consciousness. So we're gathered here in New Vrindavan on this auspicious Ekadasi to rejoice in this shared experience of trying to share Krishna consciousness and trying to carry on Prabhupada's mission, Paschatya Deshatarane, specifically preaching in the Western countries, in the mantra that he wrote himself for us to repeat and express our admiration. Now, in this struggle to share Krishna consciousness, we're blessed with a little success, but we really just scratch the surface of what can be done. And if we see what one person or one dedicated devotee can do, we can take that inspiration. What can we do to further Srila Prabhupada's mission? So in that regard, I'd like to introduce His Grace Brihat Mridanga Prabhu. He is the North American coordinator for our Krishna House projects. And he's going to invite some of the... Marge, please. Oh, okay. Okay. He'll stand up. And he will introduce some of the leaders from Krishna houses around North America to give us a brief report. Now, please come forward. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. So, I don't know about all of you, but for myself, sometimes I can hear about the pastimes when Srila Prabhupada was present on the planet, and you hear how, I've heard from Kalakant Prabhu himself that you all had this mood that we're going to take over the whole planet in just a matter of years.
18 days.
Srila Prabhupada himself said that in 18 days that actually it could happen. So there was this mood of expansion and real huge momentum going, so much enthusiasm, buses going around the country, fleets of vehicles making new devotees, sharing thousands and hundreds of thousands of books. And sometimes in comparison to that, I can think, man, it seems like not much is happening right now. But as I've been visiting different Krishna House projects, just in the recent past, I'm seeing that really this Krishna consciousness movement, Srila Prabhupada's momentum, is still very much alive and active. And it's just a matter of time before we get to another explosion of Krishna consciousness in North America. And this is one of the most potent examples of it. All of you assembled here, such a diverse, enthusiastic group. So we wanted to ask each of the leaders, or a representative from each Krishna House project, to please come up and share, just in 60 seconds, an update of some enlivening successes from your project. So, Shamananda Prabhu, would you kindly share on behalf of
Yes,
Krishna House Grand Rapids? If you would please come up.
So, we had 5 new programs, preaching programs started last year. We had about 30 souls who came for the first time in touch with Krishna. Around them 10 to 12 have taken up chanting Krishna. And as our congregation is growing, we are in the process of acquiring property for the temple to accommodate the growing congregation. We have 2 current residents in Krishna House. Lower Pro is there. Lower Pro, can you stand? She's not here. Can everyone from Grand Rapids stand, please?
Thank you very much, Shamananda Prabhu. Shamananda Prabhu's humility is the fuel for the whole project, as evidenced by his eloquent presentation. So, can we also have Premamrita share on behalf of Krishna House Dallas?
I have a few things written that I'll just read off. So in Krishna House Dallas, we have steady book distribution going on in college campuses and a Bhakti Yoga Club starting at the nearby college. We have distributed over 300 books through these programs, and we're starting a club. We have 30 people signed up ready to join as soon as it gets off the ground. We have 2 weekly programs, Mantra Night and Bhakti Circle, and we have 10 regulars that come regularly. And some of them are chanting japa now. And we at least have 1 brand new person come through the door per week, which is really exciting. And oftentimes they become regulars. We have had over 30 people stay in the ashram, either as residents or as monks for the weekend. And also our current residents and monks have all been locally cultivated. So we've outsourced in the past, had people send people to us in the past, but right now everybody's been locally found and cultivated. Oh, the Krishna House presence in Dallas has really increased the amount of people that come to Mangal Arati in the morning program, just in the devotee community itself. So many more devotees are coming. Exponentially, it's increased actually. And the temple president there in Dallas is leading an appreciative inquiry summit, which is basically, we have like 32 people in the community, the devotee community, that are committed to the greatness of the Krishna House Dallas project and helping it, planning it for the future and helping it to become what it has the potential to be. So, sorry if it's
Can all of the Dallas devotees kindly stand? Thank you very much. Okay, and now on behalf of Krishna House Amherst, we have Nanda and Nishta together share.
So Krishna House Amherst we just pulled into town a couple months ago. So we just started out as grassroots, very grassroots. We just rented an apartment, and since we don't have a center, this year she's been there for a couple months, and she goes to campus 5 days a week, and she's already distributed 3 cases of books and prehab came for a week. She went all full force with the SSRs. And so we had someone donate some books. Nishta's been out there distributing. And what she does is She has people follow her on Instagram. So how many people right now are in our Instagram chat?
Yeah, so I have a Bhakti Yoga chat, 54 students.
Yeah, 54 students are following. And then because we don't have an actual center, Nishta figured out, on campus, there's, like a botanical garden that's like a greenhouse. So she has people come in for mantra meditation. So she teaches them how to chant japa in the greenhouse, where it's nice and warm. So we're just using whatever we have, where if you start a Krishna house, you can just go anywhere, go on the campus and just find places to meet with people. So they come, they're chanting. We have how many people that are like doing japa regularly now? Yes.
Like 3 to 4 like sincerely interested people who are pretty close to me and inquisitive.
Yeah, so anyways, that's our stats for now.
Thank you very much, Nishta and Nanda. Hopefully next year we'll have a nice group who can stand up with you. For now, thank you for for putting in the effort. Yeah, with the group. Yeah. So on behalf of the First Krishna House, we have Bhakta Nate, who will please stand.
So, we distributed 1,200,000. 120,000, sorry, I had to 120,000 plates of prasadam in the past year. Additionally, as a part of our, we have a Krishna Cares program where we feed local homeless shelters, and we distributed 15,000 plates of prasadam. We had 7 new Bhakti Academy students move in. We had 5 initiations, 1 first initiation, and 4 second initiations. 4 people took vows of brahmacharya. And we've had interns, 7 university interns, helping with our grant writing program. We've gotten grants from for Krishna Cares from Walmart, Bank of America, Wawa, City of Gainesville, Clay Electrical Foundation, and Florida Blue. We've run 2 outreach programs all year, Tuesdays and Fridays, run by some of our newer devotees, and we get an average of 30 to 60 guests. And finally, in Krishna House news, Nanda left us, and we are all Haribol.
All of the devotees from Krishna House Gainesville, can you please stand up? If you're living there or if you're in the community, please. Thank you very much, Nate. We have Janaki here, and Hadai Pran.